What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody today? Very good to hear. Today I want to talk about the new LP release called We're All Going to Burn in Hell Megamixxx3. It's released in 2010 on Gold Dust Media, and that's kind of strange because LP, he's one of the co-founders and owners. He's the CEO of this underground hip-hop label called Definitive Jux, and a lot of his past releases, I think all of them have been released on Definitive Jux. But I just learned today, just a couple minutes ago, that he either stepped down as CEO or he put the whole label on hiatus, so I don't know what's going to go on with that label and all the artists on that label. It's all kind of up in the air right now. But aside from that, We're All Going to Burn in Hell Megamixxx3, third in the series. I don't know if there's going to be more. It's purely instrumental. If you don't know LP, he's been active in the hip-hop game and the music scene since about 1993, so well over a decade. He's been in a lot of different bands called the Weathermen and Company Flow. He has a whole shitload of, like, you know, solo releases as LP, which is short for El Producto. His real name is Jamie Malign. He's from Brooklyn, New York. He did this really cool Justin Bieber remix, right? He slowed down the song 700 or 800 times and made it into this kind of drone kind of song. It was pretty dope, actually. But yeah, he's a workaholic, big time hip hop producer, MC, very talented guy. I'm a huge fan of LP. I try to buy everything he's ever put out. So of course I picked this up, and when you pick it up, you also get this little MP3 thing. You go to the Gold Dust website and you get the previous We're All Going to Burn in Hell Megamixes 1s and 2, which is great. What this is, it's just pretty much his little scrapbook of beats that he puts together in between albums, but it doesn't really sound like that much of a scrapbook. I was reading about this album online, and he compares it to, I don't know if he compared it to, but he says he was influenced by Jay Dilla's Donuts, his Donuts album by Jay Dilla, which is an awesome album. If you haven't heard Jay Dilla's Donuts, totally check out Donuts. Donuts is such a great album, like an easy 9 for sure. But that's pretty much where the similarities end, and that is just a bunch of short tracks, and it's all instrumental. This isn't nearly as varied as Donuts is. It's a very uniform, consistent album. Like, there's no real highlights, no real lowlights on it. It's very uniform, very consistent, very listenable. There are some standout tracks in my book, like track 11 I especially like, called Driving Down the Block, and track 6, which reminds me a lot of his album Collecting the Kid. It's called Time Won't Tell. But it's not nearly as aggressive as other stuff. He kind of loosens up a little. It's a little more playful. It's very, very electronic flavored. Lots of big, loud synth tones and drum machines and all these kind of squiggly psychedelic guitars and weird samples and sound effects and shit like that. They all pretty much have that common electronic flavored kind of theme to it. But there's a lot of bangers on here. Nothing overtly brooding. There's like a little bit of menace, a little bit of atmosphere here and there. It still has LP's whole, like, cold yet empathetic, world-weary, kind of fed-up tone to it. But it's very, very fun. It sounds like it could be the soundtrack to some sort of, you know, science fiction, futuristic kind of movie. I read it might actually be a soundtrack to a movie, because there's a track on here called Whores the Movie, and I've read in a couple sites that this could be a soundtrack to like an upcoming project of his. He's going to release something called Whores the Movie, probably about, not about prostitution, but how if you're in the music industry, they just treat you like a whore and stuff like that, and kind of a very loose metaphor for it. But anyway, for the most part, this album is very upbeat, very kind of funky and dark. You know, it sounds delicious. It's very, very spacey, still very dense and stuff like that. If you're a fan of like 9 Inch Nails instrumentals or Public Enemy instrumentals or Odd Nosdom, or just instrumental hip-hop in general, like by Peanut Butter Wolf or Madlib, you can totally hang with this album. It's still pretty good. It's not too deviant from other LP releases that you wouldn't be able to recognize this as an LP project. Like, these beats are very familiar as an LP thing, but, you know, it still sounds fresh, sounds new. It's nothing totally gonna blow your mind or anything. It just kind of makes for decent, you know, background music. I like to listen to this when I'm in the shower and do a little Hot Philly freestyling to this, just kind of gay, kind of shit like that. But, you know, it still has a little bit of menace on it. It's got a little cameo from this band I like off Definitive Jux called Chin Chin. He appears on I think the first track and track 14 I know he appears on for sure, called Contagious Snippet, which is kind of this weird psychedelic funk space future kind of vibe to it. But yeah, I would totally recommend this album to anybody who's an LP fan, a fan of instrumental hip-hop, who just likes sick-sounding electronic-flavored beats. Like, it's not too bad. It's really kind of listenable. I did enjoy it, even though nothing really sticks out or stands out. A couple tracks I do really like. I've played a couple tracks on Saturdays and stuff like that. Cover art's kind of just this weird glob of, I don't even know what that is. Could be some sort of space garbage planet. I don't really know. Got all these kind of garbage colors with the greens and browns and oranges. Kind of got this kind of colorful putrid mess going on. Maybe that's an apt description of the album. Not in a bad way, not a diss. And here we do again, like more garbage. It's got this whole kind of garbage theme. It's got a song on here called Eat My Garbage. You know, I don't know. That's how I decipher it. But you know, it's a lot of cool, like even this song right here is an awesome track with the weird kind of wolf howling in the background, you know. Borderline menacing, very interesting, not completely engaging to listen to, but still lots of cool sounds, lots of big noise and shit like that, lots of thump and skitter and futuristic shit going on here. Little bit of atmosphere, quasi-cinematic. It's just fun to hear the LP loosen up a bit, because usually he's this brooding, kind of funny, kind of depressed kind of guy to listen to. He's got this very kind of fed up feel about him. I really like LP. If you haven't checked him out, if you're a fan of Public Enemy, Nine Inch Nails, Odd Nosdam, totally check out LP. Totally make it worth your time. He's totally the kind of guy who kind of grows on you. But aside from that, that's all I have to say. LPs, We're All Gonna Burn in Hell, Megamixx3, released in 2010 on Gold Dust Media.